It is quite a fiery Friday right now on the trail, with both the presumptive candidates finding themselves under attack, starting with the Democrats. As part of a criminal probe into Hillary Clinton's emails, we now have learned that at the center of the investigation is a series of emails between American diplomats in Islamabad about a potential drone strike or strikes in Pakistan. Donald Trump is feeling the fire as well on a separate issue. Court filings show that the billionaire businessman has been involved in more than 3,500 lawsuits over the past 3 decades regarding claims that Mr. Trump or his companies have refused to pay up for work completed. Which candidate has the best rebound strategy? Let's bring in Democratic strategist Simon Rosenberg and Republican strategist Ron Christie. Simon, I want to start with Hillary Clinton.
Sure.
The email development coming at a time when both the vice president and the president have just endorsed her, and she told Fox News' Bret Baier that she looks forward to the email scandal being put behind her. But now this. There are a series of emails involving what many would consider top secret issues about drone strikes in Pakistan. These are not secure going through her server. What does she need to do? Or is there more to fall?
Well, I think that what she said is correct, which is that there is a legal process going on here that's looking into all of this, and I think everybody wants it to be concluded as soon as possible, including her, by the way. I think everybody wants this done. And I think the difference, though, between the day today for her and for Donald Trump is that this email stuff and the fact that she kind of blew it on the emails, whatever word you want to use, is baked into her stock price, so to speak, right? People all know this. It's been heavily covered for a year now, whereas some of the sort of bad stuff Trump has done as a businessman is not well known. And one of the things that Democrats are doing with their television ads are making sure the American public is very educated about some of these revelations about his business career that I think are going to do significant damage to him in the months to come.
I would argue, Ron, Simon's half right. We've heard a lot about lawsuits in the past. Sorry, Simon. We've heard about lawsuits in the past. Vendors who haven't been paid. Donald Trump coming back and saying, yeah, you know what, that guy did shoddy work. But some of them look like strong-arm tactics. Now you have articles in the Wall Street Journal, USA Today about that. Both of these candidates are facing very, very ugly, they're not really revelations. We've heard about them, but it's that water torture. More and more piled on.
And we're going to get water torture between now and November. I mean, you're looking at 2 candidates who are so deeply unpopular. Ever since 1984, we haven't seen a field this divided. I go back to what you were just saying with Simon about Hillary Clinton's email. If that were me, I worked in the White House for 4 years. I had a security clearance. If I had done what she had done, I would be in jail. Hands down for violating the Espionage Act. You are not allowed to take secured, compartmentalized information and put it on an insecure server, let alone a zip drive, let alone to give it to her aide who didn't have a security clearance. That would find me or you in jail. And the American people just look at this and say, oh, it's part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, when she knew her legal obligations and she did not follow them.
You know, we've showed the unlikability numbers, and they're consistently bad for both of these candidates, Simon. So how does a candidate get ahead here? You know, Hillary Clinton's at 56% unfavorable, Donald Trump at 58% unfavorable.
Yeah, two quick points. One is that I think that what you've seen in the last few weeks, if you look at the Rasmussen poll that just came out and the Fox News poll that just came out, each of them showed fairly dramatic movement towards Hillary Clinton just in the last few weeks, putting her up now 3 or 4 points. And it means that we go into this next...
Isn't that still within the margin of error?
It is,
yes.
But I think that if that's before our party is consolidated, and in the next 2 weeks, I expect that she's going to get a bump of another 2, 3, or 4 points on top of where she already is, right, putting her up 5 or 6 points, and I think definitively ahead in the race. I mean, this is my prediction, right? But the thing is, I think Hillary, given her policy knowledge, the years she's been in the business, the fact she's given 2 very substantive speeches in the last few weeks, it's going to be far easier for her to start developing a positive, uplifting narrative about her campaign than it's going to be for Trump. And that's why I think it's going to be easier for her to break out of this current morass that we're in over the next few months.
As a business network, we listen a lot to business people, smart billionaires, smart people who've done well in business. Mark Cuban is one of them. Mark Cuban was on Varney & Company with Ashley Webster. Fascinating interview. We encourage you to go on foxbusiness.com and look at it. But specifically, he was asked about vice presidential candidates. Elizabeth Warren, if possible. Look, Hillary Clinton has not said anything like that. But whoever either of these people pick, Cuban said they've got to not be at the fringes. Listen to what he said.
We need to be more center. I mean, you know, this country needs solutions, right? We don't need headline porn. We don't need people talking about, you know, playing to progressives, right? Playing to conservatives. The more we deal with labels than solutions, the bigger our problems get.
Ron Christie, what does Donald Trump do for a Veep?
I think he needs to pick a governor or someone who has substantial government experience, someone who knows how Washington works and someone who people in Washington trust and respect.
And somebody who will take the job.
Yes.
Is that John Kasich? Because John Kasich has been very distanced.
And I got to tell you, for having worked for Kasich for 7.5 years, I just don't see Governor Kasich working well with a guy like Donald Trump. Don't see it.
I don't see it either. And Simon, quickly, a Veep choice for Hillary that'll work with what Mark Cuban talks about?
Listen, I think she's got a lot of good options. I think, you know, Tim Kaine, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Julian Castro, there's a longer list. I think it will, you know, I think these choices are very personal. You know, I was very close to Joe Lieberman in 2000 when he got picked by Al Gore. And the only person on the Gore team who voted for Lieberman was Gore himself, because they had a great personal relationship. I think Hillary, this is a big decision for her. It's going to be probably the most important decision she makes before the convention. And I think it's going to be somebody she feels very comfortable with.
Simon, Ron, great to have you on this Friday.
Sure.
Lots to talk about in the future. We'll have you both back.